Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're diving into one of nature's wildest strategies, the power for a living thing to make a perfect copy of itself. Seriously, no partners, zero complications, just pure, efficient cloning. So, what would that even be like? Just take a second and really think about that. What if you could create an exact genetic twin of yourself right now? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But in the real world, this is happening all the time. And that's the whole idea behind asexual reproduction.
All right, so to really wrap our heads around this, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's look at the actual blueprint. What's really going on when an organism makes a perfect copy?
Here's the textbook definition, but it's actually super simple. It's a way of reproducing that only needs one parent. And the result? The babies are genetically identical to that parent. They're not just similar, they are perfect clones.
So let's break down the main features here. Think of these as the must-know facts. First, you've got just one parent. That means no need for sperm or egg cells, what scientists call gametes. The offspring are, you guessed it, perfect clones. And maybe most importantly, the whole process is unbelievably fast, which lets one organism create tons of offspring in almost no time at all.
So how do these organisms actually do it? I mean, how do they pull this off? Well, it turns out nature has a pretty cool toolkit. Let's check out 4 of the most common ways that living things go about making these exact copies.
Okay, so we're looking at 4 main strategies here. First up is binary fission. This is where a single cell, like an amoeba, just splits right down the middle into 2. Simple. Then you've got budding. This is where a little outgrowth, a bud, just pops off the parent and grows into a new organism. Think of yeast or hydra. With fragmentation, something like a spiral gyra can literally break into pieces, and each piece grows into a whole new one. And finally, spore formation, where tiny little spores are released to go find a new place to grow. So 4 different tools, but all for the exact same goal, making a clone.
Now, all this speed and efficiency sounds amazing, right? But, and this is a huge but, it comes with a major catch. It's a classic evolutionary trade-off, a really high-stakes game of speed versus long-term survival. So, on the one hand, the upsides are massive. It is ridiculously fast. You don't have to waste any time or energy looking for a partner, and you can take over an area super quickly. But the downside? Oh man, the downside is critical. There is absolutely zero genetic variation. Every single kid is an identical copy. And that means if the environment changes, like a new disease shows up or the climate shifts, the entire population is in danger. There's no variety to help them adapt. They all have the same weakness. So here's the bottom line. Asexual reproduction is an absolutely brilliant winning strategy, as long as the world around you stays exactly the same. The second things change, it becomes an incredibly risky gamble. That lack of variety could be a total death sentence for the whole species. Okay, let's bring it all home. Let's pull everything we've talked about together into one final, crystal clear blueprint that sums it all up.
So if you had to boil it all down to one perfect sentence, this is it. It's a way of reproducing where a single parent makes genetically identical offspring. That's the heart of it, right there.
And you see it all the time in organisms like amoeba, hydra, and bacteria. And they do it using those methods we talked about, like binary fission and budding, to multiply like crazy. And that leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. If making perfect clones is so incredibly fast and so efficient, why in the world did nature ever bother with the messy, complicated, and way slower process of sexual reproduction? Well, that's a story for another day. Thanks for tuning in.